I mentioned in my last video, because I had been gone for some time and I'd been behind on my movie news and seeing movies certainly, I've been able to hear a lot more reactions and reviews in regards to movies, more so than I would have if I was here seeing movies on opening weekend like I typically am. And after I was hearing all the negative reactions to Supergirl and how it's really bad and how it sucks, I kind of started thinking to myself, you know, maybe I don't need to see that, but I still wanted to go to the movies today, so I actually went to the movies with the intent of seeing Young Washington, but shockingly, that movie was sold out. Everyone just decided to be patriotic on 4th of July weekend, which, hey, that's a good thing. But because I, for once, decided not to pre-order my ticket, I was now shit out of luck. I'm at the movie theater. I decided, well, you know what? I guess I'll just, since I'm here, see Supergirl for myself and just see how it is. And, well... Supergirl is the newest entry in James Gunn's DC universe, starring Millie Alcock as Supergirl. Basically, the plot of this movie is Supergirl's just living her life, just getting drunk from planet to planet, not having a care in the whole universe, and then one day this villain of sorts just arrives on her planet. He shoots Crypto with a poison dart. It's gonna kill him in 3 days unless she gets the antidote. On the way, she meets this other girl named Ruthie, whose entire family was killed by this bad guy. So yeah, the two of them are gonna work together to stop this guy. I understand Superman was very hit and miss with some people. There are people who loved it, there are people who hated it. I actually really dug Superman, but I will say this. The ending of that movie, when we briefly get introduced to Supergirl, I wasn't exactly hyped for any future projects with her. I mean, that scene, that little cameo she has at the end, did next to nothing for me. Which is why I thought it was very peculiar, to say the least, when they announced that she was getting the next big DC movie. Like, I understand James Gunn wants to kick off his DC universe, and that's why it made perfect sense that he started it with Superman, but if you wanted to keep this ball rolling, you really wanted to make Supergirl the next one? And I, like the rest of you, went into Supergirl not really with a lot of hope or excitement. And now that I've seen it, I gotta tell you, it is not as bleak as I thought it was going to be. It was actually, surprisingly, a little bit worse than that. I'm just gonna start with Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. She is kind of the polar opposite of what Superman is. Superman is the embodiment of good and justice and purity. He represents the best of humanity, even though he's an alien. Supergirl is pretty much the opposite. I mean, the case she makes is Superman sees the good in people, I see the truth. Which would be a good line in itself. The problem is, Kara Zor-El is kind of a shit person. She's completely irresponsible. She spends her entire life drinking, partying, staying out late, waking up until the sun is setting, then going back out and doing it all again. She's, you know, and she's kind of a dick. Like, she never does anything heroic whatsoever. I mean, the woman's just, she's an asshole. It's not a nice way to put it, that is what she is. So right out the gate, it made it very difficult for me to get on board with her. And even going back to her cameo in Superman, she already exhibited signs of that. So I knew going in it would be hard for me to root for her. And by the end of this movie, I never was able to. The movie tries to take the cheap way in this and, like, you know, yeah, her dog gets shot with poison and you want the dog to live. You don't want to see the dog die, but the problem is Crypto, being a very clear CGI dog, doesn't hit you in the same way as it would with the real one. And listen, I'm the biggest dog lover on the face of this earth, but Crypto's kind of a bad dog, so I don't know. If he showed a little bit more lovability, and again, if he was a real dog, I probably would have been affected more when it seemed like he was going to die. And I just wasn't. And speaking of things that didn't affect me as much as the movie intended it to, let's talk about Ruthie, who becomes Supergirl's little sidekick, her little friend along this journey. Her story is meant to be a little bit more personal because the villain of the story shows up in the beginning, goes to her home and kills her entire family, and now she wants revenge. And the sad part with that is her story arc gets going immediately. Like, first time you see her family get wasted, and she's left alone. And look, I am all for a great revenge quest. I love revenge movies where the hero has to go on this journey to take out the person responsible for the pain that's caused them. Those are awesome. Those are some of the best movies we get. The problem is, what this movie does not understand is, in order to really root for the hero in that sense, you have to build the hero up. You have to build up the protagonist. John Wick is a great example. It's not like first scene out of the gate, spoiler alert if you haven't seen John Wick, and if you haven't seen John Wick, please watch John Wick. But his dog doesn't die in the first scene of the movie. Like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, we're learning about his past. He lost his wife left him this dog so he wouldn't grieve alone. The movie does a great job in the beginning establishing John Wick as a good guy who just lost the love of his life, then loses his dog to a couple assholes, and immediately you're like, yes, go out there and kill these fuckers. The movie could have at least spent some time delving more into Ruthie and her family and shown the love that they had for one another, and, you know, just seeing them be a family, and then when they all get taken out, you feel a little something. I mean, how X-Men First Class, I know I'm alluding to a lot of movies here, but even in that movie, the opening scene where you see, you know, Magneto getting taken away from his mom in Nazi Germany, I felt something in that. That was enough for me to get on board with him wanting to kill the guy who killed his mom. This movie was like, no, Ruthie's on a revenge quest. But I don't care. And yeah, the chemistry between the two of them, it's non-existent in this movie. I never really feel like, you know, at any point Supergirl likes Ruthie. I mean, Ruthie's just kind of tagging along with Supergirl because she understands her powers and she just believes she can help her on the way, make her job a little bit easier. But I never at any point felt like the two of them actually liked each other. I never really felt like a friendship really formed here. And yeah, the villain of the story is completely generic and forgettable and just, he provides nothing to it. He doesn't say anything or do anything. You don't really know what his plan is. I mean, you know what he's doing. He abducts young women to be sex slaves for him and his crew or whatever, which is terrible and it's shitty of him, but I don't know. Again, I feel like the movie is just taking the cheap route and like making him do despicable things just so you don't like him. But no, it takes a little bit more than that. I just glazed over the Furious, whose main antagonists were child sex traffickers, but it wasn't just the fact that they were that. It's like they perfectly embody what those type of people are like. They're shitty, they're despicable, they did horrible things, they had, you know, law enforcement in their pocket and shit. It's like there was at least something more to them that could make you hate them more. Simply just saying characters are doing this is just lazy writing. Yeah, there's no development in this movie, there's no divulging into the characters to make you learn more about them. I mean, you learn a little bit about Supergirl's past and where she came from, but again, it didn't really feel like it was able to get me on board with her because again, it just felt too similar to Superman's story. And granted, maybe it's supposed to be, but when I just saw her past and her backstory, I'm just like, I've seen this before. It was Superman. And yeah, David Corenswet's Superman is in this movie for like 5 minutes. I mean, he's in certain scenes here and there. I mean, did he need to be in this movie? No. As much as I love his Superman, it was unnecessary. Speaking of someone with very limited screen time, yeah, Jason Momoa as Lobo in this movie, it's so disappointing how wasted they did him. Because he was actually the coolest part of the movie, but he's not in here for much of it at all. He has a few scenes here and there, drops a few liners, kills a few baddies. He's kind of a dick, but in that likable way, in that Jason Momoa way. Like, I would have appreciated seeing more of him in this movie, but it's funny enough, I'm not even gonna be able to walk out of this movie saying, oh, he was the best part of this movie because he was in it so sparingly. Like, I would have hoped I could have walked out of this movie thinking, oh, I can't wait to see Lobo in his own movie or own show or own project of sorts. I walk out of this movie like, I need to see Lobo be more of a supporting character in someone else's show or project before I can get totally on board with him. Like, yeah, I see the potential in Lobo, but not enough to make me crave his own thing. I just want to see some more of him. And the action in this movie is kind of wasted and kind of just spent. I mean, there's not really a lot of good continuous shots in this movie. They try to do that, but characters are teleporting in and out of the space, so they feel like they're getting away with it, but they're not really. Some really bad green screen. There's one moment in particular. Ruthie's like hiding from whatever Supergirl is doing, and she's clearly taking out a bunch of people, but I'm sitting over here like, looks like there might be fun stuff going on over there. I mean, can we see? But no, the movie just really sucked the fun out of this movie. Even the humor in this movie. I mean, the problem, this movie's PG-13, and you can tell it's trying to have the edgy humor really go for it with some of the things that, you know, Kara might say or Lobo might say, but you know they can only push the boundaries so far because it's PG-13. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there, listening to what these characters are saying. I'm just like, you know, I can think of an R-rated Joe you could have stuck right there that would have been way funnier, but you couldn't do it because, again, you want to be edgy in a PG-13 movie, but you can only be that so much. And also, this needs to be talked about right now. I don't know if this was just my theater, but did anyone else notice how shit the lighting was in this movie? For a character that's powered by the sun, this movie is very poorly lit, like, all the time. Like, there are scenes where, like, the background's a little bit lighter, but they're zoomed in on the characters, and it's just wicked darkness around them, and I'm just like, I can't really tell what's happening. I can't see what this character's expressing. I don't know. Like, yeah, shit on me all you want. I know the quality of my videos with its lighting isn't always the best, but here's the thing. I'm not running on a $200 million budget like this movie is, so where'd the money go? Especially when you consider the fact that it's not like there's a lot of really big, well-known actors in this movie. Like, what the actual fuck? And yeah, this all needs to be said. I gotta get into some of the decisions some of the characters make in this movie because, oh my god, there's so much irresponsibility and stupid decisions being made here that I just can't roll past. So, you know what? I've talked about them, so yeah, spoiler alert for Supergirl, but let's be honest right now. If you haven't seen Supergirl by now, you do not care. There's a point in this movie. Ruthie, she's got the bad guy in her sight. She's sneaking up on him. She's just about to take him out. And then Kara steps in, stops her from doing that. And in doing that, this guy kills a young girl and her two parents. And, you know, Ruthie's like, what the fuck? I had him and now these people are dead. And, you know, Supergirl's all like, you can't do this. It's not right. It's not going to make you better. Even though Supergirl has, like, killed so many people at this point during the movie. But no, Ruthie can't do it because she's, I don't know, sacred in Supergirl's eyes or whatever the fuck. And then very end of the movie, when they finally take out all the bad guys and they win and they've got the leader, the main one, down there at knife point, you know, Supergirl's telling Ruthie, like, don't do it. Don't let him get the best of you. Don't kill him. And she's like, all right, fine, I won't do it. You know, as soon as Ruthie walks away, Supergirl kills him. It's like, well, what the fuck did you just tell Ruthie that for? It's like, again, it's like fleeting moments right then and there. Like, you think Supergirl is trying to maybe show signs of wanting to be more like Superman, like wanting to be good, wanting to save someone's soul or save someone's, you know, character, whatever it might be. But either in doing that, she irresponsibly costs the lives of innocent people, or she just gets Ruthie out of the way so she can do it herself and just contradict herself. It's almost like the writers just wanted the movie to go on a little longer just because they know they needed more movie, and therefore they just had to let something get in the way of Ruthie getting the kill earlier to wrap things up. So all in all, Supergirl was just a complete and total mess. Millie Alcock as Supergirl, I couldn't get behind her. I thought she was a dick. I thought she was completely unlikable. I don't see how they chose to make Supergirl the next hero to make a movie for in this franchise. Ruthie could have been a good character to get behind if they had built up her revenge quest a lot better in the beginning of this movie. That's the thing. There's no character development here. Completely forgettable villain. Totally forgettable arcs with all these characters. Lobo's the most interesting character in this movie, but he's not in it for much. Again, like, what, 5-7 minutes total? In a movie that's an hour and 48 minutes long. Oh my god, the length of this movie. I was so bored for most of it. It's poorly shot, it's poorly lit, the action scenes aren't fun. The jokes, I didn't laugh once in this movie. Did I even chuckle? I don't think so. Characters make such incomprehensibly dumb decisions left and right all the time just for the sake of dragging the plot out. And in the end, James Gunn better pray Clayface is a hit at the end of this year, because if it's not, the entire weight of the world and the weight of his franchise is going to rest on Man of Tomorrow next year. If it's not already. I'm going to give Supergirl a 2 out of 10, which makes this movie pretty fucking terrible.
This is so fucking stupid.
People are going to say I'm harsh with that rating. People, the 5 minutes of Lobo in this movie is the only thing that saved it for me in a 1. So feel grateful for that to anyone out there who's trying to defend this shithole. That's all I got to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. And as always, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I will see you all next time.